Alright guys, we got another request, the S10e versus the iPhone XR here. So we're going to be doing a speed test camera comparison for these guys. There's a lot to like about both of these phones. Hardware wise, you're getting a headphone jack on the S10e, SD card support, AMOLED display, and with the XR, you're getting also a very fast phone. You don't get the headphone jack or SD card support, but you do get on here much longer software life cycle as well too, so that's probably what interests you. But let's go ahead and get to the speed test. Snapdragon 855, 6 gigs of RAM. The XR is running iOS 15.3, and then we have 3 gigs of RAM. Let's see which one is faster, which one has aged a little bit better speed-wise. We're on Android 11. Android 12 is coming soon. We will cover that once I actually get it on my device. Alright, so let's start off with Subway Surf. And you can see the screen differences here, the AMOLED versus the IPS display. And basically a tie there getting into Subway Surf. The screen is just much better on the S10e, and in addition it's got the punch hole versus Apple's much bigger notch there. YouTube, S10e there. Loaded up the video, and YouTube just faster in general. Pokemon Go. I think Samsung has done a fantastic job. That was pretty much a tie with optimization for One UI. I think these phones are only getting faster. And I think that's both for iPhone and Android. I think Apple and Samsung, they're doing a really good job with these older phones. Just look how fast they are. Even if you compare them to newer phones, it's just crazy. Again, so these are looking like they're kind of tied actually. I mean, they're both very smooth. I like to watch for like animations and stuff like that. So that's where you'll see like initial lag at. But they're both pretty smooth. Snapchat, much faster on the S10e there. Again, S10e. So it seems like they kind of like will jump out and tie, but it looks like the S10e might be a little bit faster. It looks like it just might be faster in general. Alright, let's go ahead and try Jetpack again. XR got it there. Okay. Twitter, XR, Twitch, S10e. So a little bit of back and forth, but it looks like in general the S10e was a bit faster as far as opening those applications. Now let's go ahead and I'll show you guys the Geekbench scores here. You guys can see what those look like there. So the A12 chip does sort of beat out the S10e in the single core, but it loses in the multi-core score there. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into Pubg. Alright, so as far as the gaming experience goes here, both these phones are very fast and very good at gaming, so it doesn't really matter which one you pick for gaming. They both do HDR Extreme and they both do Ultra HD, so they are very nice, very fast for gaming performance here, which is something that I really like. So you know, regardless of which phone you go with, you're gonna have a very nice experience, and it feels just as smooth on the S10e as well too. If you check out the graphics, the same exact graphic settings, super smooth. Yeah, so just no issues here as far as gaming. I actually have full gaming tests on both these phones if you guys want to check those out, but regardless, they do an excellent job with gaming. Let's check out RAM management, see if we get any closeouts. Okay. Restart on the S10e. So not bad. And one thing I look for when we're doing heavy multitasking is lag. A little bit of lag on the 10R. That's usually when you see the most lag, is when you got a ton of stuff open. Okay. So they're both kind of even with the closeouts. I don't think one is doing that much better than the other. I think they're both pretty much, you know, on par with each other as far as RAM management. So they both do a pretty good job. Now let's talk about the cameras. I'll show you guys some side-by-side stills. But there is like a thing with the cameras here. So with the S10e, it's a dual camera setup, right? So you have a 12 megapixel standard and a 16 megapixel ultra wide. It shoots in 4K 60, and then a 10 megapixel selfie cam that shoots in 4K 60. On the 10R, it's just a single lens. So basically, it's just a 12 megapixel lens. It also shoots in 4K 60 and 4K 24. Then you have a 7 megapixel selfie that shoots in 1080p 60 on the 10R. So you're missing that ultra wide, which kind of sucks on the 10R. But as far as image quality, let's check that out and see what you guys think about that. Alright, so lastly we got speakers here, max volume. They both have stereo speakers. Let's go ahead and check them out, starting with the 10R. One thing I noticed is that the S10e is way less distorted, virtually no distortion. The iPhone does have a little bit of distortion at this max volume. I hear a little bit like tinginess and stuff like that. I think the 10R does have a little bit more bass than the S10e, but the overall sound quality just sounds a little bit more cleaner on the S10e. I think it just sounds better. To me here, but they both seem about the same loudness. But the only thing with the 10R is that at max volume it does have that little bit of like distortion sound, and you can't really hear that on the 10s. So that's pretty much it for these speakers. They both sound great, really loud speakers. So which phone would you guys go with, the 10R or the 10s? Be sure to let me know, and or the, not the 10R, y'all know what I mean, the S10e or the 10R.